Hello everybody, welcome to a new session of M.A.P Morning Art Pages, map to your joy, to your well-being. Today we are outside. It's also quite windy, so I hope the sound is not too bad. So this setup is a little bit the same as yesterday. We have a few new additions. So we have this beautiful flower rose that grows in my garden. Look at this beauty. And then the vase, I don't know if you can see the vase. This is great. I got it at Austin and Green. I don't know if you know this franchise in Europe. It's really great. I have my water. So this rose smells divine. I mean, it's a sort of a wild rose that has thorns everywhere, even in the leaves, in the stalks. Okay. I also have a new, where is my, here it is. I have my hot water bottle, still have pain. I have this very old, it's 3 years old. Can't believe it's been so long. So I made these, I forgot the word for it. In myself, using things that I found nearby and that have meaning for me. So these are pine needles, I think you call them. And I even write down what it is. We have pine needle, we have mint, and we have, I don't know if it's ambrose. I don't know, it's another. I was a little bit worried because of the pine needle. They really burn up very fast because that's what we use as a fire starter in Portugal. You see the wind is also keeping it alive. Okay, I'm going to put it here so I can keep an eye on it. So welcome, welcome. How are you feeling today? Here we go. We have a little homemade charcoal. Yes, how are you today? So we are, I don't know if we have full moon coming, so didn't really sleep really well. I also went to my acupuncturist and things like that, so I had really not really a good night. So it's difficult to go back in when you get up in the morning and you feel exhausted. And I already talked about it, I think. So anyway, but I have, it's funny, I look at my paint tubes and nothing is coming. Nothing is calling me. Okay, so, and I'm going to see, okay, this is calling me. Interesting. You see, this is always the funny thing about intuitive art. So back to spiral. You will see in the other videos that I'm doing spirals and circles and things like that a lot lately, except from yesterday. So that is quite nice. I love this pen, but it's giving so much ink that it doesn't really, sometimes it bleeds through the other pages of the book. So it's nice here, there's no problem because I have gessoed the pages. I always gesso so that it's okay. So this is going to be a bit annoying, so I have to change my glasses every time the sun is going to come back. So that's the way it is. I'm very thirsty. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about painting outside, or as the other people say, en plein air, which is a French word saying outside. Well, it doesn't really say outside, it says in full air. Which is, yeah, it's outside, but it's also in the wind, in fresh air, full air. And yes, and I wanted to talk to you about painting outside. I don't know if you do that quite often or not. It is, you know, you have to be prepared. You have to have like your stuff in a bag or something. And it is, you know, you have to, yeah, there is some preparation to do that. But it is so nice. I really recommend it. I mean, here I'm just outside my house, so it's still preparation, you know. I mean, I have a bag with all my paints because I do travel quite a lot because lately I've been doing quite a lot of house sitting, and I love it. And I was lucky enough to, no, I wasn't lucky enough, I manifested a really lovely sit last year, and it went really well with the lady. We got on really well, and she was traveling a lot this year, so I did quite a few sits with her. So that's why I already have some stuff in my car already in bags. But something, I think maybe 2 years ago, I was doing a lot of painting outside on plein air, and it was intuitive paintings, and it was either in a book, a bigger one, or directly on canvas. And so I need some pink, so I guess I'll just go back to paint. Funny, I hear pink, or well, I know I need pink, but I don't have it here. I don't feel like going inside for it. And anyway, well, anyway, yes. So I was doing a lot of painting outside, and it was so nice. And it was intuitive painting, with no intention. I don't think so. Oh, I think the blue, the ink is bleeding a little bit, so we make violet. How funny! And yes, painting outside, amazing. I would look, I would go to places, where I could be alone. So not far from where I live here, there are marshlands. So it's all fields and cows basically, and water, salt, maybe think of salt and sweet water, you call them? I don't know. So I found a few places, and I was surrounded by either cows, but they were not in the same field as me, but I could hear birds, ducks and stuff, seagulls. Amazing. And then I even did some funny stuff. I knew someone that was doing a lot of sort of shamanic healing, yes, different modalities. There was some sound healing, voice healing, and I asked if I could come by just to paint while she was doing that, to sort of connect with the energies. And so I did that a few times, and then I even went once to a raised stone. I think that's what you call that. So raised stones are Celtic practice that was done by druids and other Celtic religious Celtic, I don't know, shamans, maybe you could call them. I love that. I love this color. I really don't know what I'm doing. That's the intuitive part. Just go with the flow and follow your joy. This is exactly what I'm doing. Follow the joy, follow the intuition. Okay, this I can put somewhere else here. So yes, and so someone had told me about a raised stone that was quite not too touristy, because I wanted to be alone, and I invited a friend that has done a few shamanic trainings, and she had a shamanic drum, and this raised stone was really funny because it was in a field with cow, and so you had to cross the field. It was a bit inside. And so I set my stuff up, and my friend too, and we had another friend that showed us the place basically. And so I started painting, and my friend started drumming. And then the cows came. It was amazing. They came really close by, like they were like maybe a meter from me too. So I was a little bit concerned. I wasn't really afraid, but I was like, okay. And clearly they were attracted by the music, the drum. I think it made an impact on them. They loved it. Yeah, it was so funny, so funny. And there were like maybe 10 cows, and there was one goat. So yes, that was great. I made a few paintings there. I don't know, maybe 1, 2. And then at the time, because I was doing quite a lot of painting outside, I had a stroller, you know, like a to do your groceries, you know, when you're in the market. I had a stroller, I still have it, and I had put all my stuff in the stroller, in, you know, in different bags, and I could take everything. So I had my paints, I had my canvases, and you know, anything I needed, and of course a blanket. It was amazing. And even that, well, I don't know how you call it, an easel, yes, an easel, but a table easel. So yes, and I did it, you know, of course, in the summer and also in September, because we had good weather like we have now, and I really loved it. It's something different when you paint. Even just here, you know, I am on my terrace, and you have wind, you have the sun, you have different noises, you know, and it's so, yes, it's so inspiring. Sometimes I would even put some you know, Zen music. Okay, so now I need some orange apparently. And so yes, have you tried painting outside, doing intuitive painting outside? Oh yes, and lately, last week, because of this morning art pages routine, I was inspired to paint outside, but not an intuitive painting, like a sketch. Not a sketch, no, it's a painting, an outside painting, like not really what we call it en plein air, basically. So it's painting what you see, you know, landscape and stuff like that. Well, I love the colors, even though I have sunglasses, that changes a little bit the color. Anyway. And because I've been doing that for a bit more than a year now, but it was, you know, landscape sketching, but with watercolor, which is much more easy, obviously. And this time I wanted to do it. I think I showed you on a previous video what it was. So I had also quite some, but I had found a really small set of painting tubes, really small tubes. So I brought them in a small bag. So the setup was quite simple. I didn't have to bring the troller. It's not a troller, is it a troller? Anyway. And I went not far from here. It's not really a seaside, but well, I could say a seaside, and I found a little spot where I could sit down and paint. And I tried this sort of impressionist way, as you know, that you paint with your, you do paint strokes like that, but with paint, and then you make a landscape out of it, of what you see. So it was quite challenging, because you have to, of course, let your paint dry. Where are my glasses? Sun is back. And the result was really not great, but that's what it is when you start something. And for me it was the second time that I tried this technique of like dots almost to paint, and also I had this small book, and I think it's, in a way, it's easy, it's faster, but then yeah, it's difficult either, and I think I had maybe too big strokes. Anyway, so I did that also last week, and it was great to be outside. So here we have a funny spiral. It's funny because it does look a little bit like the one I did 2 days ago. You know, we have a spiral, but very different at the same time. The same but different. And oops, no. Okay. Oh yeah, and I wanted to show you this paintbrush. I cut it myself because I wanted something finer, and I quite like it. First time also, so I don't know if you do that as well, you know, if you want to do something. Well, anyway, it's a nice idea when you don't have the paintbrush you want something specific. And you make it yourself, basically. I like making things myself. It's so much, I don't know, it's empowering. Really is empowering to do things yourself. Anything, you know, doing things on your car, you know, little things, but doing things in your house, things that normally you would think, oh, I need a man or I need a professional. Now with YouTube you can find so many tutorials to do stuff. I've used them quite a lot. I had this electrical, you call them stores? No, I think it's stores. No, it's not. It's, oh yeah, shutters. Electrical shutters, they roll up and down. And I broke one. So I looked, how it works, how can I repair it. I bought the part. Well, I didn't install the new part because it's working without it, but I will have to do it. And there was some hits and misses, and I shut myself out of my house basically. I was very lucky that the window to my bedroom was open, so I crawled back into my house. Interesting colors. I like the mixing the colors. I need some blue, and I find it very empowering, to do things that you didn't think you could do, that you have been not trained, but it's like everybody else does it. They pay someone to do it, or it's more like a men's job or something. It's like also, like last year, I decided to cut my own hair because I went to a hairdresser and she didn't really do what I wanted. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do it myself. And so I bought scissors and comb, and then I watched again YouTube videos to see how people cut their own hair. And I was lucky enough that my haircut is, well, I found a relatively easy way to cut my hair. And of course it was very, very challenging. I had this mental block, that I couldn't cut my own hair, because of course we all go, I think most of us go to a hairdresser. So it took me months, really. It was, I think, 2 months. And one day I did it, and I was really very nervous, but I thought, I'm going to do it, and if it's really bad, I will just go to a hairdresser and say, well, I try to cut it myself. Since COVID, people also have had to cut their own hair, and I think it's less strange to say that you're cutting your own hair, or to come to a hair salon saying, I'm cutting my own hair. Anyway, and it was great, of course, because what I did was just cutting lengths of the previous haircut. So, but yeah, it was great. It felt so empowering, and because it's difficult. Well, it's not difficult. It's different. It's something new, and of course, there's always the same part of you that doesn't want any changes. Your ego or whatever, that is always trying to keep you doing the same thing because that's safe and that's what he knows. And so I had a lot of mental block about that. But then when I decided, okay, even if it goes horribly wrong, I just go to a hairdresser. And of course I don't work in a 9-to-5 job in an office. I'm at home, so even if it went horribly wrong, nobody would really notice, basically. So that was really great. And I've done it a few times. I've done a few times of cutting my hair. Sometimes I go to the hairdresser and it's fine, but yeah, the experience was so empowering. And then when you do these things like that, well, the more you do them, the more you want to do different things, the more you think, well, I can do it. I have never done it, but I can try. And it can be anything, There is no men or women's job, really. You have really men, women that do mechanics now, that do house repairs, anything. There's always, of course, some things that are more easy for men because they are stronger, but you don't have to. You can be different. You can do your own stuff. And this empowerment, it makes you so much stronger. makes, you know, and it also makes you sort of, I don't know, it's not really looking for other challenges, but then when there is a new challenges or something like, you know, can I do it myself? Can I do it myself? Can I make it myself? And it feels really great. And of course it boosts your self-confidence, obviously. So this painting is going a little bit, I don't know, I think I'm more focusing on talking than on painting today, which is fine, you know, this is the gel, you know, I'm recording it, so, but I like it, it's very, it's a little bit, it feels a little bit messy, and it's going to get messier because now I'm using, you know, the woodies, they are water soluble pencils. Okay, changing the glasses again. And yes, when I use them, then normally then I use the water, and then it gets very, then I need contrast. You see, it's very, it's not messy, it's busy. Yeah, that's the, it's busy, and I need contrast. I have this one, this is the Neo color too, so also I quite like them. I only have one. They are not cheap, but also because I wanted to try different things. I think I quite like the woody better, but more for, you know, the feeling in your hand. So yeah, what about you? What have you done that was, you know, challenging, that empowered you to do more, you know, stuff yourself? And I think, you know, the empowerment is also because it makes you more or less dependent of something or someone else. Of course, as everything, it can have, of course, its downside, which is that you are so much independent that you don't also, that's also that you find difficult to ask for help. That's also what I was, that I'm still, you know, very much relying solely on myself, and I find it very difficult to ask for help. And yes, then that's just a shame, because then you take, either you don't do things, or they take really longer, and well, people, and something that I learned from one of my mentors is that people love to help, and you know, when you talk to, you know, a friend and you say, oh yeah, I had this and it was difficult and whatever, and then they tell you, why didn't you call me? You say, well, you know, I didn't want to bother you, but then they feel like you don't trust them, or you know, that, you know, they might feel that way, and then it's a shame, because people love to help, really love to help, most people. And you would too, you know, if your friend, a friend came to you and say, you know, I'm finding it difficult to do this and that, you know, you would love to help, obviously. I mean, I think so, you would, I would. So yeah, that's the downside of being independent and wanting to do things yourself. Okay, we have a fountain. This is also something that I do quite often. Well, quite often. The fact that I haven't really painted in acrylic or doing any intuitive work for a year now, can't really say it's often, but you know, it's a recurring symbol. Yeah, I think I need to, I have a book of symbols, but it's like a dictionary, and it's very not user friendly for me, you know. So I have to find something. Okay, now this looks like an eye. Interesting. So, is it a fountain? Is it a flower? I don't know. I find it, this is, you know, amazing with this intuitive practice, is the fact that painting can change drastically in a moment's notice. That is why when I do intuitive painting for someone else, I paint, I take pictures of the previous layers, so that they know, you know, what I've painted, because all the previous layers, they also have messages, you know. like we had a spiral, and this time it was going inwards, which means there is a growth, but for myself, you know. I have to, or I'm going and doing things that make me grow inwardsly, you know. And so all the colors that I'm using, they are all intuitive. So sometimes I just look and I see the right color, and sometimes I'm painting and then I don't know if I can't really, I don't know if I see it in my mind. I think it's more now. Before I would see it in my mind, or I would hear the word. Sometimes I still do hear the word, but now I'm at a place where it's more like inner knowing. I don't know if you've had that one. Why am it's a bit? I just know which color. Very strange. Yes. So tell me. You know, I've just started this morning art pages routine. It doesn't have to be paint, it can be just pencils. But it's really, I mean, I love it. And it feels, you know, it sort of starts me into action, basically, doing that. Even though now I think it's quite late, because I got up really late again. And then because I was quite tired, it took me more time to get up from my sofa to do that. But I did it, and I'm very proud. And that's also something that I've been doing. I think it's been like a year, maybe more. That's when I go to bed, when I close the light, put the light off, and I'm doing gratitude and pride moment. Basically, I'm thanking, you know, people or stuff or whatever that I'm grateful for, and then I'm sort of congratulating myself on things that I've done, even if it's a small thing like getting out of bed. Sometimes it's just that, and it's already a victory, you know, getting out of bed, getting out of the sofa. Sofa is a little bit my safe place in this house. Don't you find it amazing? It was a spiral. I started with pens, and now I don't know what it is. I don't know. We have a sort of, I mean, for me it's more like a spring, you know, a spring, more than a flower, but a spring that goes into an eye, and that is covered or protected by a sort of double moon, double crescent. Isn't it amazing? And we have this inner spiral, so which means that something is springing inside of me, or by going inside I'm digging a well, or I'm getting spring like knowledge or things like that, you know. I don't know. I try not to analyze, because analyze is not the right brain I want to use. Okay. I want to use my intuition. Okay, so it's dry now. The sun is so funny. This being outside also dries. Everything dries more faster. So it's also something that you have to work with. And the paints, they also are getting a bit warmer. I'm not sure if it's good for the paint, but because it's cheap paint, it doesn't matter. That's why it's, for me, it's really nice if I can use cheap paint. And I think then when you're outside, you know that we are surrounded by spirits, like the plants, the trees, the wind, the sun. If you can connect with them, then they also sort of inspire you. I had a very, very strong intuitive painting session last year. when I was doing a little bit too much of it, that's why I stopped. But I was trying to find a solution to my health issues, you know, a little bit too much. And anyway, I had this session. And it's like the wind was talking to me. Things happened, you know, and it was really very powerful, really powerful. Okay, so funny because, okay, so we have this inner knowing, you know, that I know the color. Sometimes I hear the color, sometimes I see it, sometimes I watch my paint tubes and I know which one I'm supposed to use. And now, in my mind, I saw that I was doing this. Well, they were supposed to be dots, but anyway. And then my hand is now doing this. So even my hands knows, you know, more than my mind, basically. Okay, this is also a symbol that I've done before. Okay, so I hope that at some point I will understand the symbols that I'm painting. But at the moment it doesn't feel like important, or that's what, you know, it doesn't feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing at the moment. I'm just painting, and it's my subconscious that is getting the message. And sometimes it's me, but you know, it takes me a while. Okay, so I should find another paintbrush if I want to do dots, because this one doesn't do it. And I have a very, also this paint is very opaque and very solid, basically. It's not very liquidy. So what do we do? We try and find, no, it's too late now. I think I'm going to try the liquid one over. Not even just, let's try. So I can do that because I'm at the end of my painting. And now, this is because you see I have a very small, it's still not perfect, but, and this is going to take, I think, hours to try. But it's fine, because I think I'm a little bit finished. Because I think it's been quite a long talk today. Even the birds sometimes might, you know, have a message for you, for us. I don't know, I've never received that. I have read a book about someone that is communicating with animals. I haven't tried yet the method. Maybe it will come. Sometimes I talk to them. Mostly when one is like singing, or, you know, crying, or not crying, but shouting. I just say, hey, hello, how are you? How are you doing? Basically. Oh, this is so nice. I feel like an alchemist when I'm doing that. Using gold. Well, not gold, obviously. It's getting very, very thick. And I love it. And the reflection from the sun is just... I've already done this symbol with this, and then the thing at the end. This is so funny. Oops. Oops. And I don't know. It will come one day. I will understand. Okay, I'm finished, I think. Isn't it gorgeous? Joy, pure joy. It's not the same. It's funny. It's not the same as the joy that I had when I was painting. I don't know if you can see this one. No. Yeah, it's interesting. I've never really thought about it before, but oh, the wind is really giving. Hope you can hear me. So yes, I was saying that. Oh no! Ah. Okay. Well, no, that's not this one. Where is the other one? Here. I have to do it again. So yes, I was saying this is not the same joy as I was feeling 2 days ago. This is more subdued joy, you know. It's more, but it's deeper. I don't know if I make myself clear, but yes. Okay, my hat is going away. wanted, but it's fine, it's okay. I don't know, if I want it perfect I would have to let it dry and then come back to it. Yes, so oh great, it's working. I rarely use this white one because before it didn't really work, but here on this white one, and also because it's a bit warmer, it works well. Okay, so I got sidetracked, sorry. Need more contrast here. So yes, I have this joy, and now it's a little bit gone because I got sidetracked, but yeah, it's coming back. So the gold is giving me so much joy. The gold, the reflection, the warmth, the colors, especially the blue ones, they are giving me so much joy. And so it's different. It's what I said, it's a bit subdued, but it's more deep. It's like it's a different layer that is feeling joyous. It's more inside. I feel it more in my solar plexus instead of my heart, if I, you know. And it makes sense because I think the solar plexus is the yellow. Anyway. And I have no idea what it means. And so as ever, as I told you before, I'm going to sit with it. So I'm going to let it dry outside in the sun because this is very, very liquidy, so it's going to take some time to dry. And then I'm going to put it somewhere where I can see, you know, in my house. And maybe I'll get some insight into what is the message for me. There is the growth, but the inward growth, you know that. And so we have this inward spiral, and we have this spring that is blossoming into an eye, and the eye is protected by a double crescent, like a double moon. I don't know, the spring, you know, I can understand. Also, I'm going to a medical medical spa in November, so it could be that, but it's also spring is, you know, that there's something springing inside of me, or maybe with this inward work, that's, you know, something is going to spring. The eye is maybe, you know, the third eye. I don't know, we'll see. And the blue, for me, blue, I don't know what it means anymore. I don't know if there is something, you know, there's water in the sky, maybe more water here, but we have two, we have the water and we have the sky. And the eye in the middle. Anyway, I don't know, I hope you liked today's video. I hope you're also liking this series about this morning art page routine, and that you're doing also something like that to help you feel better, motivate you to do things, get messages, get insights, get ideas, project inspiration. It's also a great exercise in developing your intuition. So for me, really, you know, I'm quite good at knowing which color I'm supposed to be using, or which tool. That comes quite naturally now. Of course, I've been doing it for more than 3 years now. So, you know, it's not something that came very fast, very naturally. But you know, now for me, I think it gives me interesting insights and messages and ideas for projects and stuff. But also, I still don't understand, you know, what it means sometimes. So that is my next step, if you will. And also, I'm sharing it now with the world, which is also something that feels right for me. So I hope you liked it. Please share, you know, with me what you're doing, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.